It's no secret. It's plain to see. I love you, and you love me. It's no secret. You know it's true. You love me. I love you.
Well, hello, everybody. You will not believe that there was a fire. And so that's why I'm late. Hello, Charlotte. Welcome. Welcome, really. I am alive and well. Thank you for asking. And yes, indeed, there was a fire. It would not be Halloween without a fire in sight. And how interesting that I laid out a little tea candle and within seconds it was like, and I'm like, holy moly, okay, we're not doing candles. I got it. I got the message. And my husband obviously looked at it and said, wink, wink, what is going on? And I said, honey, I wanted a candle. Well, we're not doing candles anymore because look what happens. And so here we are. But I was hoping it wouldn't be on the camera, but so be it. Welcome. Oh, look, it's Taryn. Welcome, Taryn. I just met Taryn today on the Wisdom app. Very grateful for you. Blessed be everybody. What an amazing day it's been. I'm curious as to what you've been up to. If you want to come up and tell us about your Halloween festivities, traditions, so on and so forth. This was the first year that my toddler was any interested. And interestingly enough, he went from house to house without saying a word. He did say thank you very much once or twice after getting candy. Never said Halloween trick or treat. And then on the way home, he said it over and over again. So clearly he's, that must have been some social anxiety there. But welcome, everybody. For those of you who voted in social media for me as to what to wear, I am happy to announce that the black dress won the poll. So thank you all for voting, and thank you so much to Palm Studios for my earrings. I love them so much, and they're perfect for the occasion. And so, how was your day? Thank you so much, Sonia. So happy that you're here. Halloween has been really interesting. I've learned so much about the traditions. I had never even learned or realized why people decorate their homes the way that they do outside. Like, why do you put pumpkins on the porch, or why do you decorate your lawn? And needless to say, it has nothing to do with being festive. It has a lot to do with spirit and so on and so forth. So I was very glad to hear or to read about all of the research that I made, and very excited. And then earlier today, we started this conversation on the Wisdom app, as we normally do at 3 p.m. in the segment Moon, Magic, and Mindfulness with Grace over there. And we were talking about how in my research, I also learn that this night is also kind of like a New Year's Eve, which means tomorrow, November 1st, the Day of the Dead, is New Year's Day. And so in the spirit of that context, we were discussing, what are you leaving behind that you don't want to bring with you into the new year because it's in your way, because it doesn't serve you, because you're done with it. Right? And it was wonderful. It was a great conversation about leaving behind fears that don't serve us, leaving behind the negativity. Hello, Curtis. Curtis shared about leaving behind that negativity. Taryn shared about leaving behind the resistance. Ooh, resistance is huge because it really stands in the way of flow, because it's the opposite. right? If you are resisting something, then you're kind of stiff. And if you're stiff, you're not flowing. You're not just going with it. I just don't see how those two can really align, right? And so we talked about leaving resistance behind and hoping to bring into the new year all of that hope that comes from being in the flow, aligning with things that are really there to serve us or things that interest us, so on and so forth. And so we had that conversation and it was wonderful. And if you're watching, thank you for those that are watching on YouTube. And thank you, of course, to all of those listening on Spotify on our audio version. I'm so grateful that you're here. This show is really about the week. We meet every single Monday, which is Moon Day, as we already know. And we like to strategize and take it just 1 week at a time, the whole context of, what we're trying to create, what am I trying to do this week? And a lot of people are long-term planners, and that's wonderful, that's great. But I like to take it 1 week at a time and to really strategize and focus, because what you focus on, you make the most of it, right? If you're focusing on something negative, you're going to make the most of that. If you're focusing on your lack or in what you don't have, then you're going to reinforce that need. And if you focus on what you're trying to work on, then you're only going to be more productive, right? Because what you focus on expands. And that's a quote by Oprah Winfrey. Hello, Peter. Welcome. And so with the idea of focusing on very specific things, this is what we talk about every single Monday. And then for those of you joining me for the very first time, we not only meet on Mondays to strategize for the week, but we also meet on the new moon and the full moon, unless they fall very close to Monday. So for example, next Tuesday is the full moon, and we will be doing all of that, ritual experience on the Monday episode. So we will do all of it. We will strategize for the week. We will talk about what we're trying to create. And we will definitely talk about more things that we're trying to get rid of, because that's what the full moon is all about, right? Releasing, letting go, burn it, throw it in the fire, watch it sizzle, and just be done with it. And the beautiful thing about the conversation earlier is the realization that I find it to be a tender mercy that we get so many opportunities to turn it all around, to do it better, to do it differently, to try again. And I'm a big advocate for the merit that there is in every single effort, right? Every single step of the way matters. It doesn't matter how small that step is. If you're moving the wheel forward, there's a lot of hope in that, even if it's just a tiny little bit in that dial, right, forward. And so what I love about that context is that it's not just about New Year's Eve, December 31st, which, by the way, is only 8 weeks away, everybody. 8 weeks away. In 8 weeks, it will be 2023. What? So we not only have that New Year's Eve, New Year's Day in 2023, but then January 22nd, we have Chinese New Year. And why not? Use that as an opportunity to renew your resolutions or to try again for a second go at New Year's. Then you have your birthday. When is your birthday? That's a great new year to experiment. What is going right? What is going wrong? What am I leaving behind? And how am I going to approach a new year of life? Think about it. And then knowing that this ends up being another kind of New Year's Eve and New Year's Day tomorrow, look at that. Another opportunity to reassess, to realign, to really get in touch with what matters. And of course, those of you who know a little bit deeper about this tradition understand that it's all about spirit, and that it's not just about candy or these little fun things that, have been commercialized all over the place. This was Elijah's favorite toy today. I walked around with his pumpkin full of candy, and he walked around with this one. He would not let it go. And so, the holiday has been commercialized much like every other holiday out there, but it's really about are family members that have departed. So who are those for you? And about our family history. So if you're interested in your family tree, if you spend a lot of time on ancestry.com researching your family, learning about your history, then this date might be of interest to you as well as tomorrow, because it is the Day of the Dead. Now, of course, some of these traditions are very intricate, very involved, and very specific. So you get to choose how you want to honor your family members or your ancestors, and or how not, of course, right? Because you have agency and you can do whatever you want. But it was very special for me to learn about all of this and to bring it to my community today, because many of us have lost loved ones, if not all of us. We all have. And so how precious, right? To have a specific day, aside from their birthday, where you might celebrate their life, right? How special to have a specific day where you can celebrate those who have already passed. And for those of you that just joined me, welcome Ron and Mel and Curtis. Curtis was clapping, so he's been, and Cecilia. Melem, it's Tuesday for you, so good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We had an accident earlier, and so needless to say, my husband is not very happy. And I learned the lesson that we're not putting tea candles on my stage. And that was a very short-lived version. Yeah, it was a very short-lived version, because I swear I put the candle there and within seconds it was like, and I'm like, okay, we are not doing this. That's good to know. So anyway, what I like about this is that I'm going to go into the new year with a brand new painted stage that will be taken care of by next show. So look at me, right? Building out of that rubble already, solving a problem that wasn't there to begin with, but now that it is there, why not solve it? So thank you all for being gracious and for thank you so much. Thank you for not mentioning the burn. I will appreciate it if we just let it go and nobody mentions it. I will not be mentioning it after today. So let's talk about this week. Dun dun dun. Let's talk about the fact that Mars is in retrograde until January 12th. That's a long time. That's 2 months and 12 days that January is going to be doing its own thing instead of going straight into its lane the way it's supposed to. And so let's talk about that. We've talked about all the other retrogrades, so why not? Mars is the planet of fire, desires, passions, war, and all those moods, disappointments, so on and so forth. And as I've already explained, when a planet is in retrograde, you have to look at the opposite of those things. So, even though we're all adults in the room, I want you to ponder these things that I'm going to bring up, and then you can have them in your awareness and just have them in your mind for whenever they come up and they happen. It's not that we want to blame it all on Mars, is that the fact that we know that this is happening out there in the universe may provide some insight or may offer you a lens a little bit different than just you thinking that it's all you and then engaging in negative self-talk because, you're so stupid or you're so dumb or, oh my gosh, blah, 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 whatever it is that you do, right? Which I try very hard not to do, so I don't even want to pretend that I'm doing it, right? And so, thank you. And so the thing about Mars in retrograde is, how do you act, think, or feel when you don't get your way, when you don't get what you desire? And it's not that we should be preparing for not getting the things that we are working so hard to materialize or to manifest or to be blessed with, what do you want to call it, right? It's not that I want you to be pessimistic about it. is that other aspects of your life may just not flow the way that you want them to flow in this season. And so what are you going to do about it? You may just feel a little bit more spicy about it than normal, than in other times, in other moments of your lives, than when Mars is in retrograde. So think about that in the coming weeks. We will be mentioning this over and over again because it's going to be a long 2 months and 12 days with Mars in retrograde. And it will reflect on all the contexts. That's the thing about the retrogrades, is that it affects, it's like the context of what the retrograde means just trickles down on everything else that's happening. So right now, for example, the moon tomorrow is in Aquarius. And so you have to think about the fact that Aquarius is all about community, and it's all about how you feel in a group environment like this one, or how you feel in spaces, or how you feel with your class or whatnot in a group community, your home, your family. But then you have to add that context of, oh, but Mars is in retrograde. So how does that affect this context over here that is already established? How does the Mars in retrograde context affect it? And honestly, it's like a recipe for disaster. But the fact that you know about it, which is the magic, the awareness, and that's, don't take it from me. Deepak Chopra is the one that says that awareness is magic, right? So, the fact that you are aware of it is the key to understanding, having a little bit more patience, taking it just a little bit slower, having that self-compassion that I often talk about, and going with the flow. We want to go with the flow instead of against it, right? Like Taryn said earlier, we're going to leave behind the resistance. We don't want to move into a new year with the energy of resistance. We want to be open for that flow. So we're going to be talking more about Mars in retrograde because, like I said, it's going to be a long time of this. And it will affect us whether we think about it or not, whether we believe it or not, right? This is why I advocate, I guess, about all these things happening in the universe. And that's because energy and matter and everything, gravity and everything we do here is a magnetic force. And so you best believe that what happens outside affects us just as much, right? You've also heard me say many a times that if the moon can affect the tide, then it definitely affects the water in your body. And we are 80+% water, right? So this is why terms like lunatic comes into play, or why some people may feel a certain way with the new moon or the full moon or so on and so forth, and why they may act a specific way when the moon is a specific way. So that is what's happening, and that's what we will be talking about in the following weeks. Now, the moon in Aquarius, like I said, it's all about community. So how do you feel by yourself versus how you may be feeling a little bit more comfortable in the next 2 days if you are in a group environment? So what does that mean if you are an introvert? Well, I'm glad you asked, because Graciela, I love to spend time alone. I'm an introvert. Okay, well, that may just mean that in the next 2 days you might be homesick for some group interaction, but then you don't really know why. Or you might not even think about the group interaction, but you might feel a little bit uncomfortable in your own skin while you are alone. Isn't that interesting how that happens? How we get into a mood and we just cannot explain it. Have you ever been through that? Because it happens to me too. Yeah, it's like, and honestly, I don't even sometimes think or understand that I'm in a mood until, of course, somebody else points it out. What's up with you? And then I'm like, I don't know. I just feel it, right? So who else can relate? Is it just me? Am I the only lunatic in the room? I may just be the only lunatic, but your claps are showing me that I'm not. So thank you for that. And That's going to happen. Thank you. That's going to happen later this week. And then it's going to move into Virgo. And then it's going to move into Capricorn. And is that the next two? I don't remember. In all honesty, this fire just wiped out all of the research I had done. And as you know, my show is not scripted. So we just go with the flow and let the conversation go. And I don't remember the last of the last of the moon forecast for the rest of the week. But Aquarius is next, so on and so forth. It really just pay attention. Pay attention to how you are acting and be patient, self-compassionate, and understand that when you approach things with love, you can just flow a little bit better. Now, I want you to see something that we were talking about earlier, which is really cool. As you know, because of a member of our community that almost everyone in the room knows about, which is Hakeem Alibokas, right? The creator of Uniquilibrium. Yes, so Hakeem, shout out to him. He is all about numerology, and so he has taught all of us so much about numerology. And so I requested his presence in our show earlier because I calculated that today 10/31/22 adds up to the number 9. And I'm not sure if you know, but the numeral number 9 is a moon number. And it's a moon number because it's a number for transformation, which the moon is in constant flux, right? It is never the same. It's only the same in 2 days and then it transforms into something else. And so that's why 9 is a moon number. And it's digits of 3. So 3 is a very spiritual number. Number 9, or I should say the numeral, right? Because number and numeral are two different things. And that's why it's numerology and not numberology. Okay, so the numeral 9 is also about self-reflection, intuition, and pretty much a lot of what's going on today in the divination aspect of the holiday. And so while he was talking, I'm over here on my tarot deck just going one card after the other. I didn't shuffle it or anything. I just wanted to see the first number 9 card that would come up and then add it to the conversation, right? I left it all to chance, much like, everything with divination or tarot is all about, right? You just don't really force it or look for something specific. You just open up and flow to see what's there. And so I'm checking card by card by card by card until a number 9 came through, and I went almost through the half of the deck and didn't find a 9, and then I did. And so the number 9 that I found was very interesting because it is everything we were talking about. So we have the sun and the moon, and it is the 9 of Wands, and look at all the red in there. Red. Mars, the red planet. Get it? And so, yeah. And so at the end of all of the wands, look at all the moons there. Yay! Look at us. All of the moons in this wand. And I just got so tickled because, the fact that Halloween also fell on a moon day felt even more special, as you know, because this day is everything, right? This is why we're here. And so how cool is that? Really, all I wanted to bring up was that it was cool to find it and to talk about the fact that this is the card of strength. And yes, I said that Mars was the planet of strength and war, right? We've known that. Women are from Venus, men are from Mars. Someone wrote that book a long time ago. It's pretty much outdated, but it's also very true. Right. And the reason why I bring it up for the collective, which, it's episode number 16, and this is the first time that I bring up the tarot. The reason why I bring it up is because strength is going to be a major main ingredient in the next, few weeks. Next week we have an eclipse that closes out a window of 6 months since April 30th, new moon in Taurus, I think it was. And we were here for that, right? Well, actually, we were not here for that because this show launched in August. So I did that with my own group in private. So That window opened and it closes next week with that eclipse. And the reason why I bring up strength is because we're going to need it. How strong do you need to be in your convictions and in your desires while you're trying to bring something to life or to create something, and the world is telling you, because Mars is in retrograde, that no, you can't have it? Are you going to give it up? Or are you just going to focus and keep trying? Right? That demands a lot of strength and resilience. We're just going to put resilience, hope, confidence, compassion, and patience. We're just going to put them under the umbrella of strength. And so that's why I wanted to bring up the card that came out earlier, because I think it's very in line with the message that I am trying to bring today, and with the whole day, really. It takes strength for you to honor your loved ones that have departed. It takes a lot of strength for you to open up to spirit and see what's up, right? And a lot of us in the room are also part of the Wisdom Book Club that I run. And we have read and discussed together I Am by Howard Falco. And in that book, we learned that when you ask a question, you best believe you will get an answer. The question is, are you ready for it? And what are you going to do about it? Because when you're not ready for it, that's when you just ignore it. Denial sets in, borderline delusional, and then you just become this zombie who just won't do what you know you're supposed to do, right? And that's kind of hard. That's even harder than just going with the flow, right? Let's talk about resistance. And so when you are opening up to ask the questions that you're really hoping to get an answer for, that takes a lot of strength as well. So we're going to need strength in the next 8 weeks and 12 days until Mars gets back in line. But of course, by then there's going to be another retrograde. Something else is going to come up, right? Because that's the balance. It's like we can't have the good without the bad or the negative. Or is it bad and is it negative? Or is that just the way we paint it? So all of that, isn't that like a lot? I feel like that's a lot. But it goes in line with the day and the holiday and the fire on my wall. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. That was pretty embarrassing, but here we are. And so thank you all for being here. I love you all so much. So now I would love to invite you up. So let's see, who would like to come up? Peter, I'm watching you. I'm waiting to see some of your paintings and to see what's up. Ooh, Curtis is coming up to speak. Curtis, would you like to be on camera? Or you can just stay on the audio, but welcome. Are you there?
I'm here.
Hi.
This is the first time I'm using Fireside, so I don't mind being on video. How do I?
So I'm going to invite you to do video.
Okay. Yeah, no, like that way you can see my paintings and everything else. And
so I have invited you. Okay, there you are.
Here. Hey, everybody.
Hello, Curtis. Welcome.
Yeah, we got the roars now.
Yes.
Got the paintings, the fire on the back wall. That was
wonderful. I know, right? It's like all in line with the holidays, so we're just going to leave it there until next week.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah, so tell us about your week. Earlier, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, now it's kind of like we're almost physically present, but we're not. But everybody can see, like, the true, like, what's up.
Yes, it's wonderful. So glad that you're here. So earlier in our conversation, you were sharing that you wanted to leave behind the negativity. You want to go into the new year with a full positive lens and hope and all of that. So that's wonderful.
And I see I lost my match, but you promised. Well, you didn't promise, but you said you had mentioned that you would put red on your mic. And it makes sense now that I think about Mars going in retrograde, like it all makes sense now. So it's cool.
Yes, yes. I also got my lips red. I don't know if you noticed, but I was like, if the red didn't win the contest, then let me at least put some red rouge on, and the fire live would have been awesome. But yes, this might stay there because of Mars in retrograde. So I don't know if everyone in the room has heard me say that the correspondence with planetary agents or entities, I like to think about it as me working with the energy instead of against it, right?
Right.
So I want to be or try to be on Mars's good side. Does that make sense? And I do that by using the color red. So red was one of the colors that was an option for me to wear tonight, and Curtis voted for red, right?
I did. Yes, I did. Do you mind going over the results?
Well, black won, obviously. And red was the second red was the second option, and then I swear like only 2 people voted for orange, which is fine. I mean, it's already very present, so it would have all looked like a giant pumpkin had I worn orange, but it is what it is. But I also wear a lot of red in the show, so you should just come back next week and maybe I'll wear red then.
You don't have to be in a red dress.
See what I did there? Yeah, you see what I did there?
You know what's
Yeah.
cool? It's kind of like you're talking about Mars and the red, and let's see, going over here, and it's like it's in the microphone. Like, here's my microphone. It's pretty cool, but I'm not using it right now. Whoop, computer shut off. Oh, everything's dropping. Oh, I'm not. Forget it. I'm not.
Yeah,
prepared
that's
for it.
fine. Yeah, so thank you so much for coming. Now, Curtis, before you leave us, tell us about your week. What are you looking forward to the most this week? Is it the World Series, or are you projecting any specific wins? Tell us about what you are looking forward to the most.
Having this energy that I have today, yesterday was a very tough day. I mean, and then just trying to even get upstairs here to the studio, it's like, which is also my partial bedroom, but at least you can see the full display of who I am. You get to see me, and all the good, fun stuff that happens in the background, in the paintings, but it's not as bright as it should be. But I'm just
Yeah,
glad
that's fine.
we get to see each other, like, in video conference. Like, it's like a Zoom call. It's cool.
It is. I know. This app, isn't it so cool?
It's nice. Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, I could literally get my makeup on and all my other good stuff and look like a pro. Not today. It's Halloween.
That's right, it is. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate it. Thank you
Yes.
so much for letting me up.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
I was like, I want your number. Oh, wait. I got to do one more thing because this is for Taryn.
Aww. Yes. Yes, so
All right.
Taryn and I just met today. Thank you so much, Curtis. I appreciate you.
All right. See ya.
Bye. See ya. All right, everybody. Thank you. So, Taryn and I just met today on the Wisdom app, and I was so happy and jazzed up to connect with her. So, Taryn, you're welcome to come up. And the way that you do that is you click on that plus sign, and you become a speaker. And then, Peter, come up and tell us that you voted for black. And also, my name is not Gabriella. That's my baby sister's name, but you're fine. So, yeah, what an amazing day, and it's going to be a great week. We have a lot going on. If you check the link on the If you check the link on the fortune cookie, which is right there, my link tree, you're going to see all of my things, but the most important being my newsletter. And the reason why I bring it up is because the blog post is all about things that we are leaving behind that we don't want to bring up. And what Hakeem mentioned earlier from the book, Numerology for Beginners, that he was sharing, was the negative aspects of the number 9. And 3 things caught my attention, which were being overly emotional, hashtag empath, obviously, right? Hashtag toddler tantrums, and being undecisive. And what was the other one? I don't remember right now. There was another one. Ooh, self-pity. What? Yes. Like, who wants to walk into a new year with self-pity on their shoulders? Nobody. If you're focusing on throwing yourself a pity party for something, then you're not focused on what you're trying to work on, what you're trying to create, what you're trying to bring to life. And that should be a positive life where self-pity doesn't play a role. How about that? Right? Like, when I say create and manifest, I don't mean like something tangible. You can create a feeling. You can create an experience. And so self-pity, yes, let's get rid of that. We don't want to walk into any new year, whether it's this one or December 21st, 31st, or Chinese New Year, or your birthday. Like, we don't want to walk into any new way of living with self-pity on our shoulders. And the thing about undecisiveness is that if you're also not making a decision because you're just straddling a line between 2 different things and you just don't decide, then you're missing out on both of them. Do you want to miss out forever? What about you make a decision and then see how that goes, try it on for size, and then if it doesn't work out, then you get to decide again. These are all adulting things. Oh, no wonder we avoid them, right? Nobody wants to say, oh, Peter, you're fine. Yeah, adulting. Yeah, we all know how complicated it is. And so it's like, if you're on the fence about something, that's one way to call it, right? Oh, I'm just going to be on the fence. Then decide if being on the fence is what's really serving you. And if that's what's serving you, then fine, at least make that decision, bring that decision to your awareness, because undecisiveness tends to be something that keeps us up at night. I don't know about you, but I think a lot about things, like everything. And overthinking is part of the problem, right? Because when you're overthinking something, then you're not making a decision. The same thing with another way to look at it is avoiding decision fatigue. And the way to avoid decision fatigue is to strategize, because then you don't have to make decisions on the fly and be caught in the moment of, oh my gosh, I just don't even know, I'm so tired. And the perfect example of this is meal prep. It's the best example that I can give you about decision fatigue. If you don't meal prep, and meal prep can look different ways. You can spend all of Sunday prepping meals for the week, or you can just sit down and think ahead. Monday, I'm going to cook this. Tuesday, I'm going to cook this. Wednesday, I'm going to cook this. Thursday, we're going to have leftovers from Wednesday, so on and so forth. So it's not that you're prepping. All of it is that you're prepping yourself for what's coming, right? And the reason why we do that, some of us, is so that at the end of a long and tired day, you're not caught in the, with your fridge open, looking at everything and going, I have no idea what to cook. Because you're tired, because you're fatigued, because you've had a long day, because you may be moody, because blame Mars. Who wants to cook anyway? Right? I don't. And so, how about we meal prep in order to avoid that undecisive energy, right? And so how can you approach this context to everything else in your life? Strategize, prepare for it, try to think ahead. try to think ahead and decide if it goes this way, this is what I'm going to do. And if it goes this way, this is what I'm going to do. That's like the language of somebody who is well prepared, right? And so, yeah, think about that. We don't want to walk into the new year with undecisiveness. We want to be decisive because that's confidence and strength, right? And then the last one is over emotional. Hashtag empath, everybody. So the over emotional is key to this Mars in retrograde because if you remember, I mentioned earlier that Mars playing against your heart's desires is going to make you want to throw a tantrum. And so, how long is that tantrum going to last? Are you going to let it ripple throughout your week, throughout other plans? Are you going to let it affect your relationships? Are you going to let it affect everything? Or are you just going to cut it short, count your losses, count your blessings, and move on? So those are the things to think about. It's going to be a very interesting week until the full moon next week. Hello, Peter. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you, Graciela.
You're welcome. Everybody, he's saying it like that because he called me Gabriela in the text, but it's okay. It's all good. She's my sister, so I really don't mind. And plus, I get that all the time, so you're fine. But Peter, would you like to be on camera?
Whoops. I would.
Ooh, Peter would. Okay.
If my phone hangs in there, okay. It's balancing.
Good.
Hello.
Hello, Peter. How are you? Happy Halloween.
Yes. Happy Halloween, Graciela.
Thank you for being here. What are you looking forward to this week?
I am looking forward to lots and lots and lots of productivity and manifestation.
Ooh,
I do feel like there's a shift today. It's been like kind of dark days, but then today, I don't know what's significant about 4:14 p.m. I just felt like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders, and now I feel like I'm on the runway and ready to take off.
really?
Yeah, isn't that strange?
Well, 414 also adds up to the number 9. So look at that.
Ooh, interesting.
That's right.
I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I also need to report to you, Graciela,
Yes.
that I have been using your technique that you gave me several Moon Mondays ago to schedule my my sketching and painting times. So I'm finally being productive in that area.
That's wonderful. So, yeah, so everybody listening, we've talked a lot about time blocking as part of that strategy for the week. And so Peter here is an artist. He is a mouth painter, so he puts the brush in his mouth and paints beautiful things. And so you not only do that, but you're also a digital artist, right? There you go. There's your brush.
Like I use this is a stylus. So I do my sketches on my iPad, and then I do acrylic on canvas based on my sketch. And of
Oh,
course,
I
I
see.
use more than just a mouth painter too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. And so I'm very happy that you're scheduling the time to sit down and do that. Let me tell you, if it's not on my schedule, it doesn't happen. And so I'm glad that it's finally working for you, and I'm looking forward to, what's the word? A follow-up, a check-in later this week where you can hopefully show me some proof. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to show me any proof, but I check in on you all the time. Yes. Everyone, if you don't follow Peter Sobey on the Fireside Chat app, you should. His show is amazing, and it's twice a week, so we get to see you sometimes twice a week. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's when his show, All Walks of Life, will be. Go ahead.
And tomorrow's a very interesting show. I have a sensuality manifestation coach as my guest.
Count me in. We will be there. And by we, I mean me, myself, and I, right? And hopefully everyone else in the room. But yeah, a sensuality manifestation coach. I will be there with my fire that Mel said she thought it was Halloween decorations. Mel, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I personally feel bad for the listeners on Spotify because they don't get to see it.
Totally. But we get
Yes.
to.
What?
But we get to. So it's awesome.
Yes. Thank you for being a part of it. And I wanted to show you this, Peter. Look, I got this in my toddler's candy bowl.
Oh, that's awesome. I
A
remember
little
those. Those are
spider. I
yours.
know, right? I put it
And
on
it
as soon as
matches
I
your
found it.
beautiful dress.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The dress that you voted for.
Yep. I love that dress on you. It looks great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's from Hot Topic. So it's perfect for the holiday. Well, thank you so much, Peter. Thank you for coming up, and I will see you in tomorrow's show.
Great. And thank you again for your awesome scheduling tip.
Of course, you're welcome anytime. All right, everybody. Bye. All right, so let's go ahead. That was a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're here, Peter and Curtis. Thank you for coming up. For those of you watching me for the very first time, this is what Moon Magic and Mindfulness is all about. We will be here next Monday to discuss the full moon and to journal and to paint live. I'm so grateful that this didn't catch on fire. What a miracle that was, right? So I journal on the new moon and the full moon, and then I paint over it. That's really what at least my ritual experience is about. You may do it different ways. Of course, we're not going to set anything on fire and we're not going to bury things. I just like to write it all down collectively. So I like to ask questions like, what are you releasing? What are you leaving behind? What are you getting rid of? Or in the new moon, what seeds of intentions are you planting? What are you looking forward to manifesting, or what are the blessings that you're hoping and praying for, right? And then we journal, and then we paint and do something beautiful with it. So join us next Monday at the same time, 10 Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. And those of you watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. And of course, those of you listening on Spotify, so grateful for you. So now let's get comfortable because we're going to do a meditation before we go. As you know, we always finish the episode with a guided meditation. And so both feet on the ground. Music is brought to you by Brain FM, and you can find a free trial on the link in my fortune cookie, or on the link in the description, or on the link in my bio, right? All of the above. And we are going to the forest. So we're going to change the genre. Sorry, I was thinking. We're going to change the genre to the rainforest. Both feet on the ground. Eyes closed. Nice and comfortable. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Just be here now. Focus on your normal breathing, nice and slow. And follow my lead as we activate that vagus nerve, which is right here between your spinal cord and your diaphragm, and it extends all the way to the back of your brain and touches all major organs, including the heart. And the sole purpose of your vagus nerve is to relax you, to bring you back to baseline, and to stabilize your blood pressure. So if you can do this laying down, it will be even better, because then you'll be able to engage your stomach and filling it with air. You can't really do that if you're sitting up because your core is already engaged. But if you're laying down, you can take a full belly breath, and then once you release it, you kind of push down on that vagus nerve and you tap it, and that's how you activate it. It's kind of like dormant the rest of the way, the rest of the day, which is why breath work, intentional breath work, is so important when you are stressed or having a panic attack or going through something. If you just pause and breathe, it really makes all the difference. And for those of you listening who are survivors of any type of trauma, then you know you hold your breath more often than not. So just breathe. And with me, take a deep breath in, nice and slow through your nose. Nice and slow, we're not in a hurry. Just fill your lungs all the way. All the way, deep breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it go through your mouth, nice and slow. Not in a hurry. Just breathe all the way out till you have no air. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe in again. Nice and slow. Deep breath in. Deep, deep, deep. Fill your lungs. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it go. And as you let it go, I want you to imagine that you are walking into a big structure made of stone. And upon your entrance, somebody hands you a candle. And close by, there's a table with a big lit candle that you get to use to light up the one you've been given. And behind you, there's a line of people coming in. Everyone in this conversation is there. We're all there together. And one by one, we each light our candle and fill the room with light. And this evening, where we get to say farewell to summer and welcome the darkest portion of the year, you get to hold the light and ponder how you can make your way through the darkness in your life without fear, without resistance, without self-pity, and with so much love. With me, take a deep breath in, deep, 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 nice and slow through your nose. Deep breath through your nose. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out nice and slow through your mouth. Long breath out. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe in again. Nice and slow, deep breath in all the way. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it go. And as you let it go, I want you to really internalize your intention to walk away and leave behind what may be getting in your way. What's getting in the way of your most authentic expression? What's getting in the way of what you're trying to create? What are the excuses, the fears, the limiting beliefs? That's a big one we want to get rid of. And as you look down at your candle, ponder the relationships that are still burning in your life, those that flicker and spark, and ponder the relationships that are barely shining through. Is the effort there aligned? Is it equal? And if you're the one contributing to that fire over and over and over again, then you might want to consider putting it out. Because if it's one-sided, then it doesn't serve you. Bring your awareness to your hand on your heart. And as you take a nice slow breath, I want you to remember, I am so loved and so grateful. I am protected, creative, and aligned with my values and desires. I am taking this light and carrying it with me. With me, take one last deep breath in, nice and slow through your nose. Deep, 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 fill those lungs all the way. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it go. Nice and slow through your mouth. Slow, 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 slow. All the way. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe in again. Deep breath in. Deep, 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 deep. Hold it, hold it, hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let it go. And as you let it go, and as you stand in this room with your candle, surrounded by so many friends, Look around and feel the love. And remember that you are not alone. And with one swift breath, blow out your candle and bring your awareness to your feet and wiggle your toes. And slowly open your eyes and come back to me. And we are back on the land of the living. Thank you. Thank you so much. Frankie, you dozed off. It's okay. But you should really watch the replay because it was really good. The room says so. No. Really? So, Mr. Charlie from the Really podcast, I will be his guest this Thursday before book club. So, yes, I am very excited too. Thank you for that. Oh, yay! Ron says that he imagined looking at every one of us. How cute was that? We were all there with you, Ron. We were all of us there in the room. How wonderful, right? Yes, I know. It's going to be so awesome one day when we all meet. Those are happy tears, by the way. So, yes. So, really, we're going to be in your show Thursday at 9 p.m. So follow him if you want to tag along to that. And if not, you can always watch the replay. I will be sharing it all over the place. And everyone, thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me on Halloween. How much fun was that? And to everyone listening, happy Samhain, which means end of summer. I didn't know that's what it meant, but now we know. And happy Hallows Eve and happy Day of the Dead to everyone that celebrates it. It's so amazing that every day is a party with National Donut Day, National, I don't know, I'm pretty sure there's a national day for everything. Yeah. And I mentioned donuts because that's what Peter is all about. So you can follow Peter on Instagram at Donut Spirit. What? That's right, Donut Spirit. So if there's a National Donut Day, I'm pretty sure there's a National Day for everything. And if you think about it, there's a party every single day. So many reasons to celebrate. Frankie J says Boston cream. Absolutely. I like Bavarian cream. I think that's what it's called. But anyway, thank you all for coming. I love you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the love on the newsletter. And if this was helpful and you would like to collaborate with my content and send me a tea, the link is in the link tree. So thank you all for being here. I hope that you join us again next Monday. Bye, everyone. Love you.